Good evening and welcome to the Words of Salongo. Today I've got a good brethren of mine that I'm going to be reasoning with, and yeah, it's going to be an interesting conversation because we're two young men and we're going to just be covering different topics. And by the way, he likes to talk, so so it's going to be an interesting. We're going to try our best to keep it under an hour, but let's see how it goes. Would you like to introduce yourself, young man?
Evelyn, my name is Martin.
Uh-huh.
Marvellous.
Okay. Where do you get this marvelous name from, and what does it represent to you?
It's just an old nickname going back from when I was a youth. That's what they call me, Marvellous Agler.
Okay. And by the accent, I can tell you're from East London, isn't it?
You know that.
What was it like growing up in East London?
The early part's very fun.
Yeah?
Yeah, very fun. When a young boy,
Okay.
it's.
So what kind of things did you get into? What, the mischief, or what was it like back in the days living in East London? Because it's changed now.
Oh, it has changed. I say for the worst. You say mischief. I think it's just kids growing up.
Okay.
So basically, just the usual childish things you do when you're young.
Mm-hmm.
Knock down ginger, have a laugh,
I
baiting
remember
people
those
up.
days.
Yeah, uh, obviously trying to impress the young girls
Okay.
starting out. Yeah, all them
So
things.
what's your background, if you don't mind me asking? What field would you come from, would you say?
So I'm
Your
Jamaican
skills.
descendants.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what skills as well?
Skills,
Uh-huh.
cultivation and that, so
Okay.
like, yeah, we're grafters, man.
You're a grafter.
Yeah, we're grafters.
That's the original East London.
Yeah, we're grafters, man. So
You're a grafter.
Yeah.
So from I say from 18 upwards, what field specific? Because I remember you said to me you're going to plastering and stuff like
oh
that.
yeah, me, yeah. So yeah, to be more Pacific, I'm a builder.
Okay.
Yeah.
By trade.
Not qualified, but
Okay.
obviously, but I know the skill. I used to do mason work.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then from there, what did you get into after that?
So from that,
You can jump in years, so you don't have to give me.
yeah. So to round that up, I was doing masonry. So basically, working on British Museum,
Okay.
Tate Modern, Somerset House,
Uh-huh.
just laying like stone,
Okay.
and everything. Yeah, and then 10 years on and off.
Mm-hmm.
Then jumped into oil refinery.
Okay.
Like oil fats.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So you've seen East London changed a lot, because I remember you were saying to me back in. I mean, I'm new to East London, but you've been here a long time. You were saying I'm pointing, but they won't know where I'm pointing.
Yeah.
Like Carpenton Docks, you were saying to me, Russell back up there used to stink, and you remember you were giving me a
Yeah.
little history about the area.
Yeah, so it was told to me that it was known as Stink Bomb Bridge
You
because
see.
anything this side of Tower Bridge it was all like slaughterhouses,
Okay.
this is industrial, going back to Popular, Tower
Uh-huh.
Hamlets, where we is now.
Okay.
Going back to the old Canning Town, Silver Town, you know that,
And I can really hear the Cockney in you.
You don't lose it. You take the boy out the East End, but you can't take the cockney out of me, mate.
Oh man, I like that. You put a smile on my face. So fast forward now, yeah. So what are you into now? What do you do?
Work-wise?
Yeah,
or,
work-wise.
Yeah, work-wise, as you know, working for Royal Mail.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And how long have you been working there?
Approaching 15 years now. Yeah.
Good job.
I'd say so. You
Yeah.
know me. I'm
Yeah,
passionate about my work,
You're passionate about your
I'm
work.
passionate about my work,
And remember when I met you, you were a manager, isn't it?
I was, yeah.
Yeah.
I was.
And it's nice. Let me put it this way: it's nice to see in the field of work to see black managers, because there's not a lot, and we have to be honest about that.
Little.
Yeah. And you had the time to speak to me. Remember, I was coming and talk to you about my mentoring and stuff like that.
That's right.
So
yes.
it was nice. And so now you've gone back to just being a postman now.
Just gone back to postman for now, but you never say never.
Of course.
You never say never.
Yeah. But you've got the ability and talent. I definitely know that.
I would say so.
Yeah.
I'd say
you're,
so.
you're a good person.
I'd like to think so,
Uh-huh.
Russell. You know me, I'm modest, innit? So I'm not going to blow my trumpet.
No. What I'm saying, you had time for people. You had
Oh yeah,
patience
I'm a people's
and-
person. Leadership.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? Building. That's all about.
So where do you see yourself in the next 10 years time?
In the next-
I know I'm putting you on the spot here, though. By the way.
Well, as me and you bounced ideas before, in the next 10 years' time, well, pushing towards my retirement, maybe between two countries, between
Okay.
here and Jamaica.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And by the way, we had a good bond. That's why I've got enough respect. In
The
the
COVID
lockdown,
times, the lockdown.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great, man. That's
in
true.
the lockdown, I was in Uganda. You were in Jamaica.
That's right.
You were there for how long?
I was there just under 7 months.
7 months.
Just under.
Can
Yeah.
you believe that?
Can't believe it.
And we spoke quite a few, and you imparted a lot of wisdom, and I appreciate that. And some of that wisdom helped me to finish my property. Yeah, because we were speaking a lot.
Yeah.
What was your experience? Tell me about your experience being in Jamaica for that long time. Because that's a long time for you, innit? You normally go for a couple of weeks.
So again, it was a chance to rebuild myself, so to
Yeah.
speak. Like, just sort of go back over, not say faults, but just reassess where I
Okay.
is today. I used that time in a productive way, I'd like to think, and obviously me and you touching base, the other guy,
Yeah.
and that, yeah, it was good just to sort of touch base with two other people in the same situation, because it was I wouldn't say it was lonely, because it was home for home, as I
Yes,
told
yeah,
you,
yeah.
but at the same time, no one knew what the future was going to hold. So it was just a case of just like taking one day at a time. I used that time, as I said to you, to like do some craft work, just
Yeah.
using some old timber I found, and as you can see that ornament over there, I know
Yes.
that the viewers can't see it.
Uh-huh.
I carved that myself. Yeah, and learning more about my culture there.
And you're planting yam.
Oh yes, yeah, oh yeah, a foot of yam. Yeah.
So you're on Mother Earth. You were actually touching, literally
Yeah,
being on the
so
earth.
I suppose at that bit again, I mean, growing up in the East End, I didn't know
That's right.
all the Pacifics, but obviously speaking to my late granddad, God rest his soul, and so forth, for my dad and my mum and so forth, and my mum's dad and mum, like they tell you about Jamaica, but then you go for a short few weeks, but you're not really seeing it.
You see.
Even though my first trip I saw a lot when I went there, I was blessed, and it was it was like the last trip, fun enough, that my not funny in that way, but that my nan did, and it was a real eye opener, because I saw all the parishes. Like visited all the parishes, I should say, and
Okay.
and then like sort of embraced Jamaica to the point, as I've said to you before, it was like a regular, every 2 years I'm there,
Okay.
and yeah, so
So this was an eye opener, and
It
it was like a spiritual thing as well.
it was a spiritual, because
Yeah,
because I wasn't even supposed to get that
That's right.
that extended time.
That's
So as I say to you, God moves in mysterious ways, and what was supposed to be like a fortnight holiday became, as I said, under 7 months, and
Yeah, it's a blessing.
yeah, it was a blessing. And as I said, re-picking myself, and that it was just a case of just like learning the skills, as we touched on. One of my older brothers, going out farming with him, seeing his life, but obviously his life now, my life has sort of become his everyday life.
Okay.
Learning how to budget in a different climate, which I've never ever had to do.
True.
So I would recommend anyone to take a gap year to go
Definitely, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Definitely agree
out.
with that. So what would be some of the takeaway lessons that I say like help you as a person, like your growth, being in that 7 months lockdown in Jamaica, what they call a third world country, I'm quoting, you know what I mean, like
Yeah, to frame it in my words, I think I just reinstalled the resilience that was installed to me, what has been installed into me, and I'm not saying I lost it, but when you're here, you get caught up in the
9
rat
to 5,
race,
yeah.
the 9 to 5, and some of them, not that I walk with them every day, as you know, Russ, but some of the stuff, like, it was just tapping back in, and it just became, yeah.
I get that, yeah, because you kind of, I was in that same boat. You didn't have, I don't know, I can't explain it. It's just like not getting up, doing a 9 to 5, breaking the routine, because we can't condition, and 5 years, 10 years will just go by.
And that it is, and as I said, being born and bred in the East End, it's like, yeah, that's all I know, you know what I mean? Like, go through the school system, church at the weekend, blah, blah, blah. Then you do your hobbies and so forth, but it's all like, you're planning. I'm not saying you don't plan in the Caribbean, because obviously, of course you do. You plan with the seasons, isn't it? You plan with the seasons. But the thing is, you're going at a pace which is just right.
Yes.
It's just right. Whereas here, I think we put so much onus on,
Rushing.
we're just rushing and that, and making hell of mistakes as we're rushing through life. Whereas there, you can move quick, as I say, because they say quick move, innit?
So you can see yourself going back there to live?
Oh, yes.
Because of the experience you've gained now?
Even before COVID, I would have said to you that that's something that I would like to do.
Okay.
On, like, as I said, a 6 months here and a 6 months there. But then there's other places that I would love to go and experience. But as for between the two countries, yeah.
It's okay. When you're saying about family, because I know you're a family man, nobody's know that.
Oh,
How
yes.
did it feel like being away from your children?
It was tough.
Yeah?
It was tough. Yeah, it was tough. I mean, obviously, with today's world, you've got WhatsApp and
Yeah.
obviously social media, but it was tough not to see them,
Mm-hmm.
and and see watch them grow. But
Okay.
even though like 6 months,
Was
that's
a lot,
yeah,
yeah.
it seems short, but
When you have family, yes.
Yeah.
It is. So I was going to ask you, we talked about this, yeah? So you said that you are a single father, yeah?
I am. Yes.
So tell me, like, for anyone listening in, what are some of the challenges that you have? Because there's always people out there, they don't know how to reach out to people, or, you know what I mean? We all have relationship and we go through, even myself, we have relationship and things don't work out. Like, what are some of the challenges being a single dad?
So, what would you say? What the challenges of the relationship I have with my children currently, or just trying to maintain?
Just trying to maintain.
Yes.
Yeah, look at it from different perspective how you want to answer it.
So to reframe it, like to frame it my way, it can be tough because you're on your own,
Yeah.
but at the same time, you're going out doing your work,
Mhm.
and there's children there
Yes.
that at some point
Mhm.
will need you, whether on a daily basis, weekly, monthly, yearly, or even within the future, the
Yes.
unforeseen future. So that bit every day, that's, I wouldn't say challenge, but that's my priority.
Okay.
Even though I'm not with them,
Mhm.
they know,
Okay.
to come check me, and yeah.
So do you think it's important for a father, for people out there, do you think it's important to be a father around for your children?
Of course, yes.
You know, for some of us, we just leave it to the mum, innit?
Yeah, I mean,
Because we don't want headache.
yeah, no, I hear that, but
So for someone listening, because it's easy for me and you to reason about it, but for someone listening, it's like, man, I can't deal with the headache. What advice would you say to them?
I'll just stay connected. I like myself. Just be patient. There's going to be times where,
But the woman, it pisses me off, man.
yeah, but that it could equally be balanced off. It could be the man pissing the woman off. So we're talking from a men's point. It could be from a woman's point, and it's just about trying to remain civil for the sake of your children, which I find it has, without going too in depth, it has been challenging for me. But
Okay.
as I said,
But it's important for a father to be
it's
around.
it's important for me to be around,
Okay,
and
okay.
or to be contactable,
Okay, okay.
Yeah, I'll use that word, because if they're big kids, they're off doing their thing.
Okay.
If they're young kids, then obviously, yeah, you've got to be all over it. Like yourself, you've got to be all over it.
I hear that.
You know.
So that's going to lead me. The reason I'm asking you that, because there's a specific question that's been bugging me, and we've had this conversation with. Please explain to me from your perspective what it is to be a man, because I'm trying to look at it from different aspects. So give me and then I'll break down that question a bit more in depth. What do you mean when I say to you, what is it to be a man? What comes to your mind, or you give me your definition of it?
I mean, you're going to break it down anyway, but I mean, for me, being a man, it's not the usual being tough.
Because I was going to say that as well.
No,
That's one of my points as well.
when you're young, as we laughed about, or when I was that young little boy, you're like, oh, I'm a big man, you're running around and you've got a little change in your pocket, and you think, yeah, you're there, but no, man, it's work in progress,
Okay.
it's work in progress. So, for me, there's a responsibility,
Okay.
There's, again, tapping into myself, the leadership side of it,
Okay.
Yeah, you can say strong, but not strong in the way people would look at it, like, you're just there to break things up.
Okay. Because so for some, because some of the interviews I do and talk to people and some of the things I listen to, some people's definition of being a man is that you've got a car,
No.
you've got money,
No.
you've got the garms,
No.
you've got the trainers.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
No.
You sure? Because that's what young people see as well.
Well, look at me, just standard, no bling, just standard. I think it's what you walk with.
Okay.
So as I said, like, what's within you, what makes you,
So would that
what would test you.
is that I'm gonna?
What can you pass on?
I was gonna say now, because can we use our family heritage as a form of what makes a man, or does you as an individual have to figure out what it is a man? Because sometimes what our parents say might not work for us.
But it goes back. We sort of dabbled a bit with it with lockdown and where I was and where you was and finding out about yourself. But I suppose you mentioned family. That's a starting point of structure.
Okay.
So
So structure.
Yeah. So again, pillars of strength.
Uh huh.
So you draw a lot of strength if you're fortunate to have a good family around you.
So that come back why it's important for a man to be around, or it's one
Yes,
pillar.
yes,
Okay,
yes. It's
continue.
pillar of strength. That's
Uh-huh.
right, and it's strands.
Uh-huh.
So that old saying about a man in the community raising a child, you know the language.
Yeah.
So that's how I see it. You know.
So it's not about selling drugs and having money.
No. Far from it. I mean,
But that's what the man them say. That's what
No.
it look like.
I mean, again,
Having a Rolex and a
No.
fat gold chain
because
and a BMW.
no, because
Yeah.
if you're in trouble, you have to sell that watch, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And if you're locked up, then
But someone listening,
you ain't got that watch on your sleeve, have you?
someone listening to me and you saying, bruv, 9 to 5 is long. You're working for the system.
No, but it's how you're wired up. I mean, come on, me and you, we're like, I was going to use the word big men, but we're old. We're
taking over the baton.
Yeah.
We're-
The batter's
we're
been passed
yeah,
us,
we're taking
So
over the baton.
So as you asked me earlier on, I'm looking towards the next 10 years or so to retirement. So that's where I am in my life now. And to answer that question, no. Yes, it's nice to have money, but it's that old saying: do you live to work or work to live? You know, only you know how you look at that. You know, some people, they're so conditioned that they're struggling.
Okay.
You know, like just to get a few hours, just to pay the bills. You know what I mean?
Because the reason I'm asking this question, because both of us got young boys. My boy's going to be 18. next
Well,
year.
mine's a big man, isn't he?
Yeah,
Like,
so-
well, not a big man, but
Yeah. So
Exactly.
it's I'm just showing, by us doing this conversation, we're just saying to our children, like, this is our perspective, innit? We have to put our perspective out there. Remember, they're putting their perspective,
Yeah.
which is a BMW or a Mercedes Gold Chop, and we're giving them a different perspective that, go on.
I mean, just to inject on that, I wouldn't say all. I mean, if you're
Not
saying
all,
just for our little community that we happen to walk through, then there's a confused young generation,
Okay.
young boys and girls, where they're looking like on social media, let's say, or they're looking on the news and they're seeing this. And again, going back to that father being around or being in contact with children to pass on some of that knowledge and wisdom, having probably gone through a similar phase.
Yeah.
You know, we know the test, and some of the youngs will say to us, but it's different.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But Dad, you're not
Yeah.
with the, you
Yeah.
don't know about the new talk, bro.
Yeah, but I mean, with that, I always say to my son, the different how. Yes, all right. Yes, it's more. There's a word I use sometimes with some older senior members. It's fatal now. What's going on? Where we had fights, shook
Yeah,
hands,
it's different stuff. Yeah.
didn't have enemies of such, but you knew, there was a line.
Yeah,
You know, you knew that you and that person, as the young would say, beef. But I can still talk to some of my old,
Yes.
I was going to say conquest, not conquest, but some of
Yeah,
the old
yeah,
people
yeah.
that maybe I had issues with. I could still sit in the same room with them, but we know there's an
But
understanding.
where did that I was going to say, where did that understanding come from? Is it your parents that instilled that in you, or is it just you as a person going through society learning that? Or some people don't have common sense, or what we call as common sense.
Yeah, but I think again, being an East London lad, we're saying East London because I'm from East London, but just like being a Londoner, it's like you had, I wouldn't say codes, but you just had, like, as I said, me and you could get into something, but there was just like
So is there some form of respect?
it was just a
back
form,
in the-
it was a form of respect, and like as you said, you don't do things like going in and out of people's houses and touching something that's not yours. It's just not done, Back home, as you know, they chop the urn off or whatever,
Yeah.
things like that. And if you have to go out and work as that work, then you do it. But you had a way how you might have done things, and that, and then
But that's what I'm saying. I think it's important for us to have this conversation, just to stimulate, just so people can see a
my mind's thinking. I'm looking at you
Yeah.
like I'm just reminiscing, like, so it's funny. You just touched on something.
Yeah.
But
What did I touch on? Push talk. It's an open mic.
No, as you said, you
Yeah.
touched on, like, with as I alluded to, and as you made me like overthink it a bit. It's like, these young kids now. When I look at how so quick to pick up a knife, let's say, and just jab it in someone, with no. I know fighting, it's a reaction thing. It's a reaction thing because obviously someone has said something or done something to piss you off, and then you just react to that situation. And sometimes there is a moment to think. But in our day, it wasn't, oh, I'm going to get this and do that. No. you said you just had it out. You rolled around.
Yeah.
If you shook hands, you shook hands. If you didn't, you just walked away. But you just knew.
Do you think we valued life more compared to this generation?
I think these young kids see that it's.
Or we were scared. You know, like back in the days, you'd be scared if your mum, like your mum friends you, because that's how I remember. I wasn't allowed to have chips. And I used to buy. That's when chips used to be 50p in the newspaper. I was lucky.
5p, mate. 5p.
And if I'm walking home and I saw my mum's dad friend, I used to get vexed because I had to throw the chips away. You know what I mean? Like that fear of your elders or gone.
Yeah, no, I hear that because again, it goes back to that community feel and that. And I suppose, as we said, we look out the window there over. I call it sunny Stratford, and it's like, you know, there was a real community around here, and you looked out for everyone, and as I said, it's hard to sort of catch it as standards, but you just knew your place. And as I said, from a young little snotty-nosed boy running around to like a 16-year-old just starting out to a 21-year-old, you know what I mean, thinking that you's a bigger man, but you still got, you know, you're still growing, you're still finding out about yourself.
But is it because we had a community and everyone knew everybody instead of like now this generation, nobody?
No, because I think we're closed off. The positive thing, as I say, as a black man, I see more different colours.
Yeah, it's changed.
Because obviously when I grew up, it was just like me and my white brothers, you know. Now it's extended, you know, the community, like the culture, you know, you can really, if you're that way inclined, you can embrace it,
yeah,
you know, and get a lot out of it.
So what advice?
But I say community, like the community's actually changed to the point that parts of society now, they've chose to shut themselves off. Whereas in our day, I suppose being a Caribbean descendants, obviously born here, but the way how we grew is like, you know, you just get on with people. We didn't see colour, and you shouldn't see colour, but unfortunately the media and whatever, bad-minded people make us...
I was going to ask you a question if you don't mind, because as I said, you're East Londoner and you're going to get stereotyped. Because
Yeah,
I
of course.
see you're pure black, tall, and as they say, handsome man.
I had
but
that.
you got a Cockney accent.
I had that.
Do you get any? Is there any stereotype or racism? Do you get? Because that
get
Cockney doesn't fit you in it. Like the perception.
You say it don't fit, but it depends on, again, your audience. And as I said, you'll find many more black men like me and women, fun enough, who are as common as muck, as we would say. But then the perception is, oh, you're black, you've got to speak a certain way, walk a certain way, talk a certain way. No, it's not about that. As I said, no matter where you find yourself, you know, you can actually be in another country and you could find yourself still being isolated because of
I mean, that's a good point. I was going to ask you, like, so for me, I'm asking you a question.
I'll give you a little joke.
Go on.
I was on lockdown. The running joke with all my family and my brothers and all that. Whenever I go, oh, Englishman come. When I go, you're not an Englishman now. And yeah, the twang. I'll go between the two. So when I was growing up, at being around my mum and dad, it was mainly like with a British West Indian accent. But obviously over the years,
you picked up
picking it, going into pubs, clubs, talking to people.
Because now, like when I watch certain videos, because people will call like this, will just show I watch. There's this black guy who came from Ireland to London, and they call him a coconut.
Yeah.
Because
you hear all that was all spouted around, but you don't take no note of that. You know what I mean? You just like, if anything, you know our humour in London, so we just make joke of it.
But that what gave, because I was joking.
Not saying it's a joke, but we made joke. We just laugh it off.
I was gonna say, what gives you the confidence to be? Because remember, I'm speaking to you, and I know you, and I'm gonna ask you for your little words of wisdom, because he's got these little words of wisdom. I was saying to him, tell me them Jamaican sayings. He's like, Russ, I can't give you too much of them. But what gives you that because that's what I'm getting from you. What gives you that confidence to be like, you can like. And by the way, he's a tall guy, by the way, so maybe that's helping. But what gives you the confidence to deal with these challenges?
I know we're just in joke, but I've never played on my height.
Yeah.
You know, and it's one of them ones. I think. No,
to deal with those saying the racism, the coconut, like just dealing with the prejudice, like. But growing up, what gives you what makes you who you are? In other words.
As I said, Russ, back, I'm strong within, you know, and again, I can only thank my parents for that, and the people around me. it's hard to say confidence because there's always someone trying to have a little jab at you, isn't
Of
there?
course,
You
yeah,
know.
yeah.
So, but then words. We grew up words, sticks and stones. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but obviously nowadays it carries another narrative with all
So
these
so if
different
that, going
movements
back
and
to
that.
the pillar, you said you just had that good surrounding
Yeah, I had a
people
good.
around you.
Yeah, and knowing oneself. I mean,
Yeah, it's important.
yeah, knowing
yourself.
oneself. I mean, and I know myself. I've been an idiot, you know. But on the race thing, I've never. It's funny because you could get another couple black guys here and women here, and they could tell you their experience is probably different to say my
Yeah.
experience. But my experience, I hear it, but it's never been directed.
So,
And then even just say it as it is. If someone even ushered a word, you give them that stare.
yeah, you don't tolerate that.
I don't tolerate that, and I think anyone that knows of me, you know, I hate bullies.
Yeah,
Hate's a strong word. It comes
Yeah,
down from your pit in your belly, yeah.
I hear that.
But I dislike anything like that. And yeah, you say challenges. I suppose yeah. When I was in school, young, I had a lot of scraps through people just trying to bully their way.
Okay.
It could be you there now, and I don't like how someone's treated you.
So you always been a people's person.
I always have.
Okay.
And I think that's just coming from, as I say, and it's still strong to this day, the family. The family in that. But obviously, as you grow, you're not in and out each other's like your cousins and your families like you used to when you're growing up and that, you know, and then you make new families, your friends and so forth. And I told you again, our community, that was like an extended family.
Because when I listen to you,
White guys as well.
yeah,
you
when
know.
I listen to you, it always comes back to, I'm using the word you use, pillar. You
Strength.
and it was diverse.
Yeah, it was diverse. And it has become more diverse, but then it was just like two phenomenal colours, wasn't it? You know, and yeah, as I said, you had no-go areas. I mean, I don't want to speak out of term about this certain particular area, but you had an area where we never went there because, yeah, that part was predominantly mainly white and, you know, and a lack of sense. The young uns my age group would just say what they heard
elders,
the
yeah,
elderly
yeah.
said, and then it's funny, them same people later on you get to stand with over football.
Yeah.
You're playing football with them, you go out to watch your local team, you're in nightclubs with them, and you become friends with these people. But you know,
So lack of
again, that
ignorance, yeah.
ignorance. So again, that line, and you know, things they repeat themselves, and then obviously, like, you know, there's a lot of interracial relationships obviously now, so that's obviously helped, you know.
Okay. So, like, what takeaway advice could you say? Like, what do you say to our children? Because we're children similar age. From what you just said about these challenges and just getting along to. Obviously, you don't let people walk over you.
No, but I mean,
But-
when you say takeaway challenges again, I mean, I think like similar to yourself, Ross. I mean, with my two, I gave them that confidence from young to speak
Good.
up, like not speak
That's
up,
important.
like to speak up, but say like if they just met you, and I suppose if I put myself back in that position when I was growing up, we was at the generation of where you're seen, not heard. When I
Yes,
encourage my two to ask questions.
So that's a good example. That's
Yeah.
very good. You see, what you've done there is showing two different generations.
Yeah.
You're saying to your children, speak up out from that generation.
Yeah.
Just be quiet.
Because me, it was like they knew I wanted to say so because, as you know, I'm a talkative person, so I'm biting down on my lips, so to speak. And it's like you wanted to speak when you're young and that, and it ain't the case of you was muzzled off.
Yeah.
But it's just that bit of respect for your elders that you's around, so you just waited, and so that time, and you hope that time come that you could say what you wanted to say and articulate the best way that you could, you know. Whereas it, like as I say, my young two, I encouraged them from their sense. Obviously, they're born with sense,
They
but
talk,
yeah,
yeah.
but yeah,
It's-
but you know, but from they're young and they can actually like tap you and say what it is that they need, and you know, without mum and dad aiding them.
That's
know.
good. That's good. So, love language.
Ah,
Because that one, well, let's loosen up a little bit. At the moment now, so tell me about like, because everyone's asking me about us black men always looking for love and you know what I mean. What are you looking for?
I think I've said to you before, man, because obviously we all set out to find a nice lady and settle down and have kids and all that, and yeah, I had a good long run.
Okay.
But then obviously it comes to the end without going into depth. And that, so now it's just like a companion, yeah, just someone just to share whatever life I have left to live.
Okay.
You know, go out and do things. You know,
You don't see yourself having any more children? It's not something.
If I'm blessed, listen, I never put down to having my first children. You know,
Okay.
as you know, I'll just say I'm blessed to have had children because, as you know, some people ain't fortunate enough to
true.
have
That's
men and women.
Mhm.
You know, so yeah. But
So what would you say to someone looking for love then? Because we have a lot of, there's ladies out there that's looking for men and men are looking for, you know what I mean? It's
yeah, but again, like I know you're going to break it down, Russ, but with that word love, I mean, what I see as love.
Oh, what is love to you? Sorry, I should ask that question.
Well, love is a feeling, isn't it? At the end of the day, it's another sense and it's another extension of yourself, isn't it?
Yeah.
That you would like.
It's not what you see on TV.
TV, man. Remember, I grew up, man. We had a black and white TV, and then you're all round there. Yeah.
It's not. So love's a concept, or is love is what? What's your definition? Go on, tell me what you think love is then.
Well, love is life, Russ. You know,
is life.
Love is life, man. I mean, yeah. I don't want to get too.
No, because there's always someone listening out there, and they like. I don't even know what love is. And that's not me avoiding the question. We're learning, innit?
No,
and everybody's definition of love is going to be different.
Correct, and that's what I said. So me just sort of trying to answer that question, I say love is life, man, because you put something out there. It's a feeling, isn't it?
Okay.
It's like it's a bit of emotion that you're putting out there, and obviously, as I said, when you've gone through something like ourselves and that, you know, I'm not putting no blame on anyone, but when you've gone through something, it's like you don't give that up easy.
So, would you say they
Obviously, you still put it out there because you're trying to attract.
Okay.
You know, so yeah, I put it out there, but yeah, it's out there, and then it's about finding that connection. But for now, as I say to you, yeah, it's just having that bit of not fun as fun, like, but just having that a bit of companionship, getting out there, kind of.
Because most women say to me, because you've been hurt, you don't really want a relationship. Is it going through that makes you more wiser, or you're just more sensitive? What would you say? Because we're in a similar boat, me and you.
But again, you use the word sensitive. Again, it's a feeling. So again, I don't want to use the word bitch, but someone could say, "Oh, like you know, you're being a bitch about things and everything and that." But are you really? It's just, you know, or you're a bit choosy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but I think you're just protecting yourself, you know, because you're protecting yourself, but not in a way that like.
You don't want to get hurt again, or what? You just.
Well, the thing is, I think, like we're saying, you've got to put yourself out there, you know.
Yeah. To
use an analogy, it's like climbing back on the horse. I know it's like the concept is it's not a nice concept, but you're getting yourself back out on that side, like, you know, putting your foot in the saddle.
But what would you say to someone who's been through like a divorce? I've got friends, or like you've been in a.
I never married, so that's a different one because
okay,
obviously.
So let's put it this way: if you've been in like a serious relationship.
Well, I was in what I saw as to be. Well, we saw to be as a serious relationship to the point it came to end. And
so how did you like for just saying general? I'm saying to someone listening, how, because you've been in a relationship for a long time and you broke up. I was because that's emotionally damaging, isn't it? So if someone listening, how would they deal with that?
But you say damage.
You saying that to me, mine, but I'm hurt, bruv.
Yeah, but well, you say damaging. Yes, yeah. I'm hurt, but again,
I'm in pain.
I think the pain, right? So I'm going to give two answers on that. So yes, there's pain there when we're elaborating and touching on that and seeing my ex-partner and so forth. Them feelings, good or bad, are there. And pain from both sides is there. But moving on to say a new relationship, you try to navigate through that where, you talk about your past. Hopefully that person will talk about their self as well as me just doing all the talking, you know, but yeah. And you just, I don't know how to answer it, Russ, because as I said, like, you know, you don't just want to keep putting yourself out there to be kicked. Or I don't want to put myself out there just to be using someone.
But then some people like, you hear these saying that people don't want to break up because of the children, yet the relationship is terrible, and you're like, maybe I should get back with my partner, or.
And I think we do as people. again, we do try
But you can see that it's not working, but you're still trying to. You're like, maybe if I do this a bit different, or I'm a bit older now, things can, you know.
And I get that. I mean, like, well, now obviously that period is gone, but I hear the point what you're making. When you're, I suppose, on the verge of breaking up, you would try everything. Well, everything that you're thinking of at that time, and then there will be that calming down period, like that period, that gap where you might think, you know what, not the fact that because you haven't gone out to move on again, because I think that's wrong as well. If you just break up and then you just sort of like just jump into the next relationship.
So you think a man should have a healing?
Yes.
Is it okay for men to?
From a man's point of view, I don't think it ain't no sad thing for you to be on your own, because as you know, for me,
But men is not meant to cry.
Why not?
That's what we,
so
that's
who
what we
say?
tell.
So who says this?
We're tough.
So you what?
We can't cry. We have to bottle it
A
out.
coconut is tough and it has water in there in it. Huh?
We can't. We're meant to be tough.
Yeah, man.
So it's okay for a man to cry.
Of course, yes.
But people are like, now you're showing your vulnerability, you're weak.
You're not vulnerable. It's just it's an emotion. It's a
And
feeling.
we should let go, allow
Yes.
to be emotional.
Yes. Yes.
Because remember, if a young person listens to this, it's okay to be emotional.
Listen, we're in a period now where everyone's talking about mental health like it's something to sell. Come
Yes.
on.
Yeah.
From you're born, you have an emotion.
Mm-hmm.
You have some kind of society health issue, like, well, I say society, how they deem to see you, but you yourself, you're processing yourself, you're learning about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
When you first fell down and you bust your knee, it hurt.
Yeah.
But the next time you did it, it didn't hurt. It still hurt, but it didn't hurt like the first ever time that you shed skin off your knee, if that makes any sense, you know. And I think that's just like, I suppose, going through a relationship. Not saying obviously like you wanted to bleed and everything, but you know what I'm trying to say is like you've experienced.
But I'm trying to make it normal by us having. I'm joking. But
Yeah, cool, of course.
Joking.
Of course we have.
Saying that it's okay for a man to have emotion.
It's okay for a man to cry,
as
to bawl. Yes.
Just said you will have a mental breakdown if you bottle up all that
because
stuff.
that same man was a boy and a boy cried. Yeah, and that boy will become a man. So what? So because you become a man, you're telling me what, you can't cry?
Yeah, because remember your brethren is saying to you, bro, you can't cry.
I don't follow my brethren in that sense. I might touch base with you if we're talking brethren, but listen, if I have an emotion, if I felt to cry in front of you now, I would cry.
Because for men, we can't. It's hard. Because man will look at you a weak.
No,
man say you're
I
weak.
would disagree. I would disagree.
But you know, we're tough as men. You know, like.
But me and you have
we're
met some
tough
strong.
as men.
Me and you have met some strong men in our life, and
Yeah.
and I think them same men, maybe in their quiet moments, they might cry, even though they might not have cried in front of us. But what they've installed in us is an emotion, and I go back to ourselves, what we walk with, you know.
No, I understand. I understand that because I'm saying that the reason I'm saying that because we come from a generation where our parents, how our father's parents were. Men is meant to be tough. We're meant to be the man of the house, and maybe that's where you say that mental health will kick in because we bottle, and a lot of people have been abused mentally.
Yes, but again, the abuse and like mentally abused and all this. As I said, I think I know, and you know, so this has been around as me and you was finding our way, but no one was talking about it.
Yeah.
Whereas we're talking about it more, and putting a big title on it. You know, they have even mental health months and so forth, like, you know, whereas back in the day, remember, you get out of your bed in the morning, you're living with something, isn't it?
Yeah.
So why do we have to wait for once a year or a specific date just to talk about this thing?
I think that's why I go around interviewing people and create this thing, because remember, we've fought on the baton, and this is my way of contributing to society and sharing the story that, yes, we as black men can be emotional and share, and we have issues like everybody else, but we have an avenue to outlet now.
Yeah.
You understand?
Right.
And it's okay to chat to your brethren about it.
Right, cool. So what you've just said there, and as you alluded to, you know yourself, going back, we never, obviously we're speaking on social media, but even then, we would have our times where we'd embrace, I might say, Russell, come round there and we'll have a little burn, a little chat or whatever, and I'll reason with you or something and that was us letting off.
Yeah.
But I think now, as I said, it's like, or in your words, you say there's brethren out there saying to us, oh, well, we can't cry and we're weak. No, we're not. You know, because as I said, them same ones what are saying it, they're feeling something themselves, or they have felt something.
But they can't show their weak in front of their friends.
But that's right. So they've chose to show the narrative of being strong, and then I feel for them because everyone has their moment.
Yeah.
I mean, touch wood, I haven't had my moment,
Yeah.
but something could just trigger you one day, which could set you off.
And which is something simple as I said.
And you hear sometimes the women, whether around us or whatever, they say, "Yeah, I don't want to start crying because I can't stop." Well, again, with there's men there, they're probably putting this tougher stare at because they know they're gonna bawl and bawl and bawl and bawl.
Yeah, because remember, in I hate to say this, in our culture, you can't show you're weak because it's vulnerability, isn't it?
Yeah, no, I hear that, but like, so with the culture thing, I mean, I would tend to slightly disagree with you because it wasn't the case of, yeah, I get the bit what you said about we're men. Yes, that's installed to us foremost, utmost, and we pass that on to the men that we surround ourselves with, and the men children that maybe we produce or that are growing up around. We will still install that bit of resilience, as I said, you know, and that bit of strength. But within that, there would always be that little word from saying myself to say, you know what, if you feel a bit of pain, talk about it.
So that's what I was saying. Like I broadened the question. I was saying about what it is to be a man. See, men is not just one picture. It comes in different ways because we have emotions, we have feelings.
Yes.
We're sensitive. You understand?
It's an extension of us, Ross. It's an extension of us.
So being a man is not just about having drugs, money, or or a car.
No.
It's not. It's more than that.
As I said earlier on, I would totally disagree with you that, you know, I totally disagree. I mean, for those that walk that life, then maybe they would say yes, but I think there's more to that. And those what will mock us because we do supposedly a 9-to-5 job.
Yeah.
You know.
Because you're working for the man when you do 9 to 5.
Yeah, well, the man and the man's working for someone anyway.
Yeah, the man, even though he's shouting on road, is working for someone.
Yeah, that's right. So everyone is accountable to someone, but the Most High is up there is for all. Yeah, you know. But yeah, I don't want to get all spiritual. Yeah, but you know what I'm saying.
Right.
You know. Yeah.
All right. We're 40 minutes in. I'll run it for another 15 minutes. See how time flies. But I want to get like, are you a happy person? Because I always ask my son, and are you a happy person genuinely?
I'm genuinely happy.
You are.
Yeah.
What makes you happy? Because I always ask these questions to people, and it's your definition.
I think I've alluded to in many ways of answering Russell, like getting out of my bed every morning, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Some people don't see life that simple though.
Yeah, but as again,
and each their own. I'm just saying.
No, and that's right. And in the rounds of of the questions that you've chose to ask me, which I appreciate you asking me them. Again, it's all emotion and building and like growing. And I think again, the happiness. All right, can it be topped off with added love? Yes, it can. You know, again, getting out to go to work, that makes me happy. You know, you know, even though we're mocking about these mocking us for doing a 9-to-5 role, whatever you want to call it. But the thing that's part of me. That's part of me. This person's what sits before you now. You know, that is part of me. I can't just cut that off.
Because the reason why I ask these questions, like I do a lot of studies. Like I've got a nephew who's nearly coming to 30, and like he said he's going through depression. I'm like, how do you go through depression? Like we as you said, these simple things of just going to a job, and that's why I'm bringing light to it.
So depressed how? If I can ask, depressed how?
She just says I have these bad moments, Ross. In fact, I might introduce him. You just have these money like.
So is there any triggers to this? Is it just? Has he always felt this way?
I mean, he doesn't have a job at the moment now.
So that could contribute a contributing factor.
His rent is expensive. He's like, I don't have no money, and you know what I mean. I'm like,
no, well, as we said, and I know we're joking around.
When you reach out to people, like talk to people. I call him and check. You know what I mean? But
well, he's good. As we said, that's about the leadership role that you do demonstrate. You know, so you know you're there for him.
That's what I'm saying. That's why, because it's okay to ask people for help. Of course, that's why I ask these questions, because you might say something to inspire somebody, like, yeah, actually, you know what? I actually like my job. Just because someone's dissing me about it, but it pays my bills, I'm happy, I socialise with people, because you have to work.
I don't pay no mind to that, Russ. You know me now, and as I said, my journey, I'm grateful. Touch wood, I've always worked since leaving school. It weren't the first option of what I would like to have been, because I wanted to be a sparky, but obviously I wasn't fortunate. I wanted to be a sparky, but obviously I wasn't fortunate enough to do that. I can say one of my young family members has become a Sparky, so
Okay.
I'm happy for him. And but yeah, but like no. As for your nephew, I mean, still do what you're doing with him, and,
Yeah, we always
and
check in.
yeah, just get him
That's,
talking.
I mean, these people inspire me to ask certain questions because you don't know who you're talking to that's going through issues.
We don't. We
You
don't.
understand? And
that,
I'm saying that like it's okay. That there's always someone there to listen, and that's why we do these conversations. Or like just talk to one. There's always one brethren you can find in your group.
and that's the bit we opened up this debate and talking, and you pointed out that sense when I say community is someone who knows you and sees you every day might notice a change in you. But back then, they will pull you aside. Not saying it ain't been done now, but they'll pull you aside and say, "Are you okay? Is anything? Can I do anything? Is family okay?
Yeah.
Is this one okay?" I know it probably bored us to death when we was young little snotty-nosed kids and that, but someone always asks something of us or asks the people around us, "Are they okay? Are they okay?" And I think that's, again, having that around me, maybe that's why I do ask and talk a lot.
And
Because,
I think that's why
yeah,
I mean you click, because I will come to you like there's 3 people I share with you. With you, I will ask you advice.
we have
about
reasons. We
moving,
have, yeah.
Eddie and sometimes Trod.
We have
And
reasons.
that's said about your work. Like I'm just saying back exactly what you said, and you're a testament to that. Find people who you don't have to tell them everything.
No.
But find people who you're comfortable with and ask them for some advice.
Yeah.
You understand? Because they, as you just said, they might just say, I think, not that you have to take it, but it's good to just gain the wisdom. Does that make sense?
Yeah, of
Like,
course.
You pick what's relevant and then you throw away the rest.
Well, of course, yes. And I was just going to use the term again. There's a lot of shitting on people kind of thing, and what I mean by that, it's
Is it because we're scared? I'm sorry to interrupt. Is it we feel vulnerable? I know some people do, because imagine I tell my business now. Mine tells John, Philip, and Henry.
yeah,
You've had like I trusted you. Innit?
Correct,
And remember in
correct.
our community, I know I'm quoting. You know we got what do you call say in Jamaican? Give me like fast tongue. Give me a saying.
I can't think one to hand, but
We've got swift tongues in it. We
yeah,
tell people.
no, correct, yeah. For words will just cut you straight down, or even a look to
Ego.
say, you know what, shit. But you touched on it, and I think it's just don't feel afraid. I would say to ask because
But I'm scared.
scared. No.
I'm scared. I want to talk to somebody, but what you might think of me.
No,
That
but-
I'm going through.
But
Imagine
who
I'm
am
going
I?
through
Sorry,
depression.
but who am I to judge you? I respect you for even coming to me and to thinking that I am the person that maybe can even listen to you for half a minute. So I would respect you within that. Whether
But then you're going to look at me
whether you
differently.
whether you walk away saying that the Marv's helped you in any way, then yeah, only you would know. Like you've said to me, Mark, I got saying out of that little time when we was chatting batting the ball when we was on lockdown, and that brings a smile to my face because within our conversations, like yourself, you had the plan, and you knew myself that I had a plan, and we both had foresight and vision. Whether it materializes, and as we always joke, well, I use the analogy, and it's like a tree, and it branches out. So if one bit of the branch bend one way, then we have to just take another way.
See.
And that, so again, as for someone like, I wouldn't say mocking you or whatever because you've asked a question, I wouldn't worry about that, Russ, because there must be something for you to get up to come to me to confide in me. So I respect you there.
And what about people saying to you, because I've heard this and I'm in this predicament, like, how can you go back and live with your mum? You're a big man. You understand? Because that's saying we're constantly being attacked.
But that goes back to your earlier question again.
Yeah.
It's about. I mean, come on. You don't walk to please. You're not here to please anyone, is it?
I get it.
So if I refer it in another way, when I say that, I mean, all right. If we're mentioning parents,
Yeah.
no, obviously we don't want to let our parents down. So yes, there's the element of like we want to, and again I'll use cultural things, and as we touched on earlier, you don't want to let down the people around you, and extend it, and now it's extended to our children. So you don't want your children to see you,
But we get that. Man, like even from a woman, I can't deal with this man. He's his mum's young and he's 40.
Yeah,
like, what
but
kind of? But I I'm just showing the challenge. Like
Again,
we're reasoning. So
having
people
gone through that,
Yeah.
obviously I'm not there now. I've moved on, touch wood. And I say touch wood, not in a bad way, because I enjoyed every moment living with my parents, but after a breakdown in relationship, because again, as I said, it's about that rebuilding, it's about that re-evolving and that, you know. And as I said, life is weird. I mean, to flip through that question, lockdown, no one anticipated that. But again, I was away from my family. Well, part of my family that I grow with every day, to my extended family, which I just visit every odd 2 years kind of thing. I obviously speak on the phone, but like actually go to see. So again, I had to reassess and analyse myself a different way. And you mentioned obviously living with your parents. I don't see it as no shame, because whether man or woman, you're there for a reason. And obviously this reason is not, say, a critical reason that put you there. It's just a case of a breakdown in a relationship. And it's a time for you to sort of rebuild yourself again.
But here's the contradiction I find. It's only in this Western society.
It's
a taboo.
No, it
but
is.
you go back home.
Correct. Well, no.
It's normal.
Well, the old society, so I hear the point about the Western society, it is a Western society thing, but if you go back maybe 20, 30 years, there was big men going back and big women still living with their parents. One, maybe they had a bigger home, so there was no reason to sort of like even probably commit to your girlfriend or your boyfriend. You probably was doing the, as they say, courting, where you're taking someone out, out, and then you're coming back home, you know. But you had your girl or your man, what you'd go off and see and spend the evening with and that, and then you go to wherever, and then you'd go back home. And then, again, you had siblings still top and tailing in beds, because it's family, isn't it?
Yeah. The reason why I broadened that question, because it's young being clever, it covers all generations. So a young person listening to this, we as older men, we go through it.
Yeah.
It's okay to be at home with your mum.
Of course, yes.
You understand? Because old men still do it.
I would encourage, sorry to cut you, Russell, I would encourage any young person, if they don't know what it is that they want in the minute, to probably stay at home.
Yeah, I tell my son, don't rush, don't be...
Because what are you running out there to?
Yeah, and it's expensive.
Well, again, it's that price. I mean, if you're not born lazy, you'll go out and do something to get an income coming in.
So if you say you want to go, let me ask you something, because we're going to wind up now in a minute. You say, like, if you're willing to work, what would you like to achieve in the next 10 years?
So I think me and you've touched on it before. I mean, I've always had this vision of owning a business.
Cool.
And I suppose it would be around the building field, because that's my background. You know,
Okay.
I've got many people, even yourself, that can turn their hand to something. So it's like, yeah, that's what I would like to do.
Okay.
And that nothing's in motion as we speak, but yeah, that's something I would like to say. Yeah, I've got a business, like a building business.
Cool.
Or so. But if not, maybe just maybe do something where I'm giving something back to the community.
And if you would like to travel anywhere else, because I always ask people, this is just a wish list. Apart from Jamaica, I know.
Well, no. Well, for me, I think I've alluded with you. I would like to see parts of Africa.
Oh yeah.
And that, yes, and obviously I've joking the other day with some work colleagues. Do a couple like cruises, like the Med, you know, and that's something that I would like to see. I mean, I've always had the thought to do these things. It's just timing, money, opportunity, you know.
Well, you just came back from Greece. How was Greece?
Oh, it's lovely.
It's all about time and money. You just came back from Greece.
Yeah.
And he went to Scotland. He's been travelling, by the way.
Man, yes.
That's different, because
Yeah.
you wouldn't believe why are you going to Scotland for? Like, tell people about Scotland, because you were telling me about the hills and how cheap the houses are. So just broaden people's mind that come out of London.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you get an opportunity to go to Scotland, yeah, I would say do it, because it's part of the British culture, isn't it? I mean, like, people just look as if I don't know. When I went to Scotland, I didn't find this, but I think us like English, it's like we just see England and then just abroad, like abroad, you know. But Scotland is a part of the United Kingdom, obviously, the UK, and it was nice to embrace. I mean, and the culture it had a bit of Irish in there. It had the English touch, and obviously, yes, they promote their Scottishness, and yes, as you alluded to, the landscape beautiful, the rolling hills, you know, and steep roads and everything. Yeah.
And that's why I say I encourage people to, it broadens your knowledge.
Of course, yes. Of course, yes. Because
come
I mean,
out of London and realise that.
Well,
There's more.
Yeah,
There's
course,
not north, south, east, and west. A postcode that you don't own.
Yeah.
That people fight over.
Well, I think me and you we joked before. I think many months ago is like when you're growing up and it's like you're only allowed down to the bottom of your road, and then you can get out the road as you grow a bit bigger and stronger, and then you sort of go a bit further afield, and then whoops, you're out of London, and then you got a nosebleed kind of thing. But yeah, but to get out and to go and travel, albeit in the UK, I would recommend it. You know, I've done a few places now with work, fun enough, travelling around the UK.
Okay.
And obviously with the guys and that. But yeah, but going to Mali, that was nice in Greece.
Wicked.
The weather was nice, the food, diets. I know you're big on your eating and that, so yeah. Just looked at another way of...
I like that because I say to people, it's good to travel.
Yeah,
when you travel,
you're
just,
learning.
you see so much. Yeah, man.
You're learning again.
It opens up, and then you meet genuine people.
Yes.
And this perception that everybody's racist and
well,
stuff like that.
It's not
totally...
so. It's not so. I mean, yes, we know there's a generation before us that I don't know again how, because we're not from it, but we only hear about it. We never lived it, I should say. But we see things and then we think, you know, that was tough, but. That doesn't necessarily mean you have to walk through, walk that same tightrope, kind of, if that's the one way of saying it, you know, because we shouldn't be shut off.
Yeah. Like
as I say, we should be
and go to places.
Yeah, we need to be.
You might be the only one there, but go.
Correct. We need to be more outward looking, and that's me included, you know.
Yeah.
But I think as a whole, we need to be more outward looking.
Yeah.
And to embrace things and that, because listen, on a sensitive note, we just don't know.
That's right.
We just don't know. So if you can do something in the now to do it.
Well, that's why, as I said, I wanted to interview you because we'll come to it now, because I think you have a locked in part, you know what I mean, and you give a different perspective.
Lovely.
You know what I mean? So I thought, you know what, definitely. I know I've been chasing you for a couple of weeks.
Months.
But months. But you know
I
what?
have to change that Jamaican clock, innit?
Yeah.
Jamaican time.
But you know what? I want to give me not parting words. Yeah, I'll go out 3-4 minutes, but. Give me some of those Jamaican wisdom, because I
can't just drop it like that. Come on, man. I can't drop it. No.
My man will be at work and he'll be just cussing me with some Jamaican patois.
Yeah, because
you know.
Yeah. Well, that's when I slip back in and slip back out. You know. So yeah, well, you know it is. I can't just say it, but like.
On the spot.
You've just put me on the spot. But you know how it goes, and you'll do something, or I'll do something, and then we will just have a bit of banter between us, or someone thinking in our environment would do something, and we would I'll say something what will make you laugh. And
no, but I like that, because what it is, unconsciously we're keeping the culture alive.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes,
you're imparting, because I know it, that's why I can always joke with you about it.
Correct.
I might not remember, but he said something to tickle my brain. I'm like, I like that, but I can't learn it quick enough because I don't hear it enough.
Yeah, because again, it's that culture that, going back in the beginning of the interview when you asked me some things and that, you know, that's just, you know, being
No. Listen, that's what I said. I really want to get 2 words. I know you're gonna call me up later and say, "Ranz, I just remember the words." But no, it's
to be continued.
Yeah.
Throwaway slang.
But also, later on, I'm always pushing people for business, and that's why I ask you your ambitions and stuff like that, because this recording is something that you can keep as a template that you can listen to, even your children can listen to. So that's what I'm saying, any parting words that you want to say to your family or to yourself, because the boy I interviewed, he listens to this. He went to prison and he likes to hear his voice and says, you know what, he drinks a lot, and he wanted to use this as a template to say, you know what, I can do better next year. So that's why that's why I always ask you, what do you want to do, because you're doing craft. And I say to you, when you set up your business, I'll put it down, the link. By the way, you're going to give me your email.
I will do.
So if anybody's interested in just reasoning with the brother, you know what I mean, he will drop it there, and then, you know what I mean. Because I think he's in depth. He's got some nice reasoning. Even though me and him bite tongue sometimes.
Yes, man, yes. It's good to bite tongue, because that's how me and you learn and grow.
Yeah. But what parting words would you like to say for yourself and
to myself, children? Just keep learning and growing.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's what I can say, you know.
Okay.
I always believe. You know, I believe, and you know.
And the race is never for the swift.
That's correct.
That's what I get from you. I know you have mine has a slow pace. He's like, Russ, the race is for real, isn't it? That's you. If I sum you up, that is him.
I ain't running nowhere.
He doesn't run. He's
I ain't running nowhere.
Even when we're doing the letters for us, I'm just taking my time.
Just taking the time,
Like,
taking the time.
I'm speeding around.
Because
You know?
listen, I'm here to talk to you now, man. So where was I running to?
Yeah.
I would have missed you, innit?
And not only that, as I said, just to show you the type of person he is, I remember, and I can say that because I don't work there no more, there was a particular walk, Abbey and Kerrison.
Oh yes, yes.
And I was like, man, I can't do this thing. And him and another guy, Remy, his name is, they were like, oh, Russell, try it. I was like, oh, I can't do it. And you guys pushed me to do it, and I done it. And from actually listening to them, if I'd done it earlier, I would have been more wealthier, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because then I done it for about a year.
I echo that.
You understand?
That, yeah.
But they were like, no, do it. I was like, no, I can't do it.
I think
I was scared.
To inject something, I think you became too comfortable.
Yeah.
And it took us to sort of to show you, not show you, because.
But that comes back to you about someone calling your side and having the community there.
Yes, yeah.
Even though I'm helping them as well. But the point is, I could help myself.
Yeah.
If someone sees you have potential, like, just give you a little nudge.
Correct. And that's one of my strengths which you touched on and you asked of me. If I see something in someone, then I will push them to try and achieve that. And I think with that, it was just a case of you had a lack of knowledge, but then once you gain that knowledge, there's no stopping you because you're someone that holds that baton tight.
Yeah.
And
No,
you
no,
run
but I
with
appreciate that, man. That's what I said. Enough love and the person who he
respect.
is. Yeah,
Respect.
it's he's a good person. I say he takes it slow. He analyze. You analyze a lot.
I'm a thinker.
He doesn't. What they would say, you must think before you move, innit?
Yeah, I'm a
He
thinker.
really analyze and takes his time.
I wish I could bite my tongue again when I'm vexed, but I'm a thinker.
No, but he's a good person, a good character. Anything you'd like to say to your family?
I love you all, man.
Yeah. Listen, man, it was a nice interview.
Respect, brother.
Appreciate your time. Yes, man.
Every time.
Bless, man.
Continue.
And I'm gonna do some show. I said to him, like, have a little reasoning Sunday, kind of a little chat show, and we just, me and him could chat for long. So I have, we've come to an hour now, so I have to end it. But the work will continue. Thank you everybody for listening on this Sunday night. Have a blessed one.